Hey everyone, welcome back to Code with Ro. In our last video, we covered downloading Unreal Engine 5 and got familiar with the UI. Today we're diving deeper into navigating the viewport and how to move and transform actors in your scene. If you're completely new to Unreal Engine, don't worry, we've got you covered and let's get started. Here we are in Unreal Engine 5. The first thing we want to talk about is navigating the viewport. The viewport is where you'll be spending most of your time, as it's where you can see and interact with your scene. Move around, hold right mouse, and you'll be able to view as you hold your right mouse button on your mouse. And you can use the WASD keys, just like in a video game, to move around. You can also hold the middle mouse button and move side to pan around. And you can use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out. Practice moving around until you feel comfortable with these controls. And while holding right mouse button, if you hold Q, you'll go down. And if you hold E, you'll go up. And while using WASD, if you scroll out, using your mouse wheel, you'll move slower, and if you scroll in, you can move really fast. And if you get lost, feel free to click on one of these objects on your viewport in your outliner and click the F key. Now let's talk about moving and transforming actors. Actors are objects in your scene, like characters, props, lights. Select an actor, simply click on it in the viewport, and it'll have this yellow highlight over it. And you'll see this gizmo attached to it. With the actor selected, you can move it using the Move tool. Click on the Move tool icon in the toolbar. You can also press the W key while your actor is selected. But by default, it'll already show this. So if you click E, R, and go back to W, the W is going to be your Move tool. The three arrows appear, and one for each axis. Click and drag these arrows to move the actor along the corresponding axis. To rotate an actor, switch to the Rotate tool by clicking its icon or clicking E. Now you'll see 3 circles around the character. Click and drag these circles to rotate the actor on the corresponding axis. If you want to reset it to its normal position, you can just hit Ctrl Z to undo. Finally, to scale an actor, use the Scale tool, which you can activate by clicking on this icon up here, or clicking R on your keyboard. And again, you'll see the same 3 axes, and you can scale in different directions. And if you select the middle one, you can scale the whole thing at once. And now we'll go over some of the grid snapping stuff. So let's say you wanted to move an object, let's say you rotated it to the right a bit, and you didn't want it to come straight up. If you select this icon, it'll change the gizmo accordingly and transform to exactly from the object's perspective. So right now we're in the world section. So that means that from our world's perspective, it's going to go up. But if we click on this, now it's going to show the object's perspective. Directly up for the object is this way. So you'll see it kind of go in that slant that it's rotated towards. And you'll notice that when you rotate, it'll show minus 10 degrees, minus 20 degrees. And that's because it's snapping by 10. For the rotate. So you can turn this off and it'll rotate to whatever degree you set it to. So it may not be as even. So I'll hit Ctrl Z. And if you click that 10 degree icon, you can also change it to rotate by however much you want. So let's say I change it to 5. Then it'll rotate by 5 degrees at a time. This checkerboard looking icon is the grid snapping. Basically, if I want it to move, it would move 10 degrees at a time. So you'll see it looks a bit jittery, but that's because this is on. So let's turn this to 500 units. So now when I move it, it'll move in 500 little units at once. But if I turn it off, then I can slide this and put this wherever. And this one here is for scaling. So if I set it to 10 and I want it to scale up, it would be able to scale up 10 times its size from every direction. Or I can just do 10 times its size from one side. And it may not look 10 times from here, that's because it's going underneath as well. And you can also turn this off for a smoother scaling. And this over here, you can select, instead of using right click and mouse wheel in to change your camera speed, you'll notice that it's actually changing the number as I do that. But if you need to manually select it, then you can just drag and drop from here. And this button on the top right will show you 4 different grids of your viewport that you can have. And that's a wrap of the basics of navigating the viewport and transforming actors in Unreal Engine 5. Practice these skills and you'll be creating amazing scenes in no time. In our next video, we'll dive into more advanced topics, so make sure to subscribe to Code with Ro and hit that notification bell to stay updated. If you want to support the channel, check out the Patreon link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.